Hello, STT 315. This is Recitation 1. Today's learning objectives will be to identify experimental or observational units in a statistical study, differentiate between population and sample, differentiate between descriptive and inferential statistics, differentiate between a parameter and a statistic, classify variables as numerical and categorical, and variable measurements of scale. So identifying whether it's nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So task 1. According to statistica.com, the average life expectancies of the United States for those born in 2019 is 76 years for males and 81 years for females. Data on non-binary individuals are not available. Part A, describe the relevant population for the average life expectancy estimates. So here, the relevant population consists of all U.S. citizens born in 2019 and excluding non-binary individuals. So that would be the relevant population. And so notice that the key word is that it consists of all U.S. citizens born in 2019. So here, population, the keyword that I said would be all. And then part B, are the average life expectancies computed from sample or population data? So here, the averages are computed from relevant samples. And then we use that sample information to then make inferences back to the population. But so the solution is that, again, part A, the relevant population consists of all U.S. citizens born in 2019, excluding non-binary individuals. And then part B, the averages are computed from relevant population or relevant samples. Task 2. Many people regard video games as a hobby of younger people, but in fact, the average age of a video game player is 35 years old. Is the value 35 likely the actual or estimated average age of the population? And explain. So here, the value of 35 is the estimated average age of a population because it's both costly and time-consuming to take a census of all video game players and compare the actual average age. So here, 35 is just the estimated average age of the population. And this is just, again, the solution, what I said, but in words written down. Task 3. In each of the following scenarios, define the type of measurement scale. So we're either going to want to identify if it's a ratio, interval, ratio or interval. So here, part A, the meteorologist records the amount of monthly rainfall over the past year. So here, this would be considered a ratio because here a keyword would be over. So you could think of recording the amount of monthly rainfall over the past year. You could have, let's say, the rainfall for January over the average for the whole year. So that would be a ratio, or you could express this written as a fraction. Part B, a sociologist notes the birth year of 50 individuals. So here, this would be an interval because let's say the first individual has a birth year of 1954, and then the second individual 1962, and then another individual 1999. So here we have different numbers that fall along the number line, and so we can summarize this information in an interval by saying the birth year range from, let's say 1954 to 1999, let's say. Part C, An investor monitors the daily stock price of BP following the 2010 oil disaster in the Gulf of Mexico. So here, it would be most appropriate to define the measurement scale as a ratio, because here the investor is monitoring daily stock price. So we're kind of seeing how the stock price changes since the 2010 disaster. So so it would be make most sense to have the measurement scale be a ratio. And here are just the answers written out. Task 4. In each of the following scenarios, define the measurement scale. So we're still defining the measurement scale. So the first one, an investor collects data on the weekly closing price of gold throughout the year. So here, this would be a ratio. Here, instead of like the previously we had some daily information we were taking, but in this example, we're taking weekly information, or the weekly closing price of gold throughout a duration of time, which is throughout the year. So that would make sense for it to be a ratio. Part B, an analyst assigns a sample of bond issues to one of the following credit ratings given the descending order of credit quality, increasing probability of default. So here we have AAA, AA, triple B, double B, double C, and D. So here we have different categories that have an order, because if we think of someone falling in a AAA versus a D, we kind of have it, there's kind of meaning attached to that, or an order. And it's given in descending order of credit quality. So if you have AAA, you have great credit quality. If you have a D, you would have less credit quality. And so this would be an example of an ordinal measurement scale, because we have different categories and that they have certain order. Part C. The dean of the business school at a local university categorizes students by major, in other words, accounting, finance, marketing, etc., to help in determining class offerings in the future. So here, the measurement scale would be nominal. Okay. And here are the solutions to task 5. So in each of the following statements, identify whether the numerical value describes the value of a population parameter or sample statistic. So as a refresher, a parameter characterizes the whole population, and then a sample statistic is used to characterize a sample, so a subset of the population. So a way that I like to remember is that P goes with P, so parameter goes with population, and statistic goes with sample. So S and S, and then P and P. So part A, in a recent survey of American males, 42% said that more money would make their life better. So here, 42% is part of the population. It's a subset or a sample, and so this would be a statistic. Part B, a spokesman for a large insurance agency reported the proportion of all women with some form of life insurance is 0.32. So here, a key word is all. So we're interested in the proportion of all women. So that's would be talking about the entire population of women. So that would be a parameter. Part C. The Department of Transportation recently reported the mean age of all highway bridges in the United States is 13.8 years. So here, this uses all highway bridges. So that would be related to the population. So here we would have a parameter. Part D, the manager of a large hotel located near Disney World indicated 20 selected guests had a mean length of stay equal to 5.6 days. So here the population would be all guests, but they only selected 20 guests. So this is a subset of the population, or in other words, a sample. And so here, this would be a statistic. In a psychology experiment, 65% of tested individuals indicated teal is a soothing color. So here they are using 65% of the tested individuals. So the population here would be all of the tested individuals, but they only used 65%. And so that is referring to a sample or a subset of the population. And so here that would be a statistic. So this summarizes the solutions for task 5, and this concludes recitation 1. Thanks for watching.